Lesson 8. How to deploy IBW solutions. Suppose you're a facilities manager for a mid-sized shared office, or you're a building owner doing a refresh to attract new, higher-rent tenants, or you're an architect keen to provide your client with the best enterprise connectivity options available. Whoever you are, IBW should be on your radar. It may make sense for your situation, but your unfamiliarity with anything other than Wi-Fi has you hesitating. After all, even the most advanced IBW solution can't match the out-of-the-box simplicity of a Wi-Fi network. Then again, you'll likely need more than a Wi-Fi network can provide alone. The first step is to determine whether a particular space would be better served by DAS or small cell, single operator or multi-operator, high power or low power, and so forth. By this point in this course, you should have some good ideas about your expectations and requirements. If not, don't worry. Your partner will be able to help guide this key decision early on. Fortunately, no matter what IBW solution you go with, there are 5 general steps involved in making it a reality. Even better, there is help available to get you through these steps and beyond. Let's review them. Implementing an IBW solution is not like designing a bridge or even a building. It's more like designing a dynamic, living ecosystem. A good IBW design is one that covers every place you need connectivity, with minimal overlap between serviced areas. It's also sensitive to factors beyond your walls. Whatever your role, you're likely not to be a wireless engineer. Fortunately, you won't have to be to integrate IBW into your enterprise space. You'll need a partner, whether it's a large national wireless operator or, more likely, for smaller enterprise deployments, a third-party IBW engineering partner. Work with a reputable end-to-end partner. The first point is the most obvious. You're not going to install your own IBW solution. It takes specialized expertise to plan, deploy, and operate such a system. Most markets offer a wide selection of partners who can assist you with the process and help you plan the best system for your individual circumstances. If possible, it's recommended that you work with a company that will also handle the deployment itself, which we'll explore later. Get a detailed view of your enterprise environment. Once you've selected a design partner, they should begin by creating a virtualized 3D model of your enterprise space in specialized indoor propagation software. This is done in order to map out where access points and antennas should be placed to provide maximum capacity and quality of service for users, placing more access points where demand will be highest and scaling power levels to overcome the macro network. Keep the outside out. In Lesson 5, we explored the different use cases and advantages of both DAS and small cell IBW solutions. Whichever you choose, your designer's first priority is to maintain dominion of the airways within your walls and keep the outside network out of your building. This means planning your IBW coverage to provide stronger signal strength than what leaks through your walls and windows from the macro network, because the macro network may not be powerful enough to deliver useful connectivity indoors, but it can be powerful enough to interfere with the frequencies your IBW solution will use. You need to make sure each access point or antenna is operating at sufficient power to drown out any stray macro network signals. How you actually deploy your IBW solution depends on the size, shape, and use of the space. Here is where you put into action the plans made in the design phase. The power drives the solution. IBW solutions, particularly DAS solutions, offer various power levels suited to different environments. For small offices, low power systems are adequate. For larger commercial spaces like high-rise buildings or underground areas, higher power levels are needed to penetrate the building infrastructure. Marrying communications infrastructure to physical infrastructure. The deployment of an IBW solution in an existing building usually means running new cable between the head end and the various access points, covering the space. For some solutions, this means coaxial cable in the horizontal, that is, a discrete area such as an entire floor of the building, and fiber optic cable in the vertical, the backbone that connects all the horizontal layers into the system's head end. It's worth noting, however, that there are new, innovative solutions such as DAS and small cell that run on IT cabling such as Category 6A or even older Category 5E that may already be installed throughout the building, or it can at least be installed with minimum time and expense. Smooth operator integration. Once the physical infrastructure is installed, the IBW solution must connect to the wireless operator network or networks. How this happens depends on the solution used. For example, a DAS deployment does not include the baseband unit in the building. It has no radio source of its own. It must be connected to the macro network to operate. This means multiple operator networks can operate simultaneously on a DAS deployment if desired. All they need to do is plug in their radio sources for instant access to the entire DAS. In a small cell deployment, the solution does include its own radio source, which must then be integrated with the operator's network via a backhaul solution. These integrations can be tricky since operators enforce their own specifications before allowing integration. It also means that a typical small cell deployment will only support one operator network. So your hardware's been installed, the connections are made, and all that's left is to flip the switch and bring it all to life, right? Wrong. Even the best designed system will need some tweaking to ensure power levels are properly balanced and all areas are adequately covered. This is called commissioning. Adjust and readjust. Real-world performance will vary somewhat from the theoretical ranges described in the design. And here is where those necessary adjustments happen. Depending on the kind of IBW solution you have, this could be either a manual or a software-managed process. In most IBW deployments, this involves RF engineers walking the covered space, measuring levels and looking for intrusion from the outdoor macro network, which will interfere with the IBW solution. Then, the individual access points' power levels are adjusted at the head end to compensate for these variations. The levels are rechecked and readjusted until a satisfactory network is in place. Small cells have a simplicity edge here. As a general rule, small cell deployments are simpler and less finicky in their real-world operation than most DAS solutions. This is particularly true for small cell operating on IT cable infrastructure. But DAS has a trick or two up its sleeve as well. Modern DAS solutions, some of which also operate on IT infrastructure, may include intelligent provisioning and commissioning capabilities that allow remote monitoring and troubleshooting in addition to more traditional features like remote power level adjustments. These new options can often be handled from anywhere through a browser-based interface. Some even have the capacity to commission themselves automatically, adjusting levels not only at installation but on an ongoing basis in response to changes in demand. Once power levels are properly adjusted, it's time to optimize the IBW network by looking for areas of interference in the RF path. This is necessary to ensure high quality of service and adequate capacity to all covered areas. Again, this work is best performed by certified, qualified engineers who are familiar with the solutions being used. Check the uplink and the downlink. For most DAS and small cell deployments, interference can be measured and isolated at the head end by checking the uplink and downlink paths that connect the IBW to the core network. Adjust access point antennas to reduce overlap. When interference does arise, it is likely from overlapping areas of coverage by adjacent antennas. This too can be a slow process, as each manual change must be made, checked and remade until the interference is brought down to allowable levels. This step greatly benefits from an end-to-end IBW engineering partner offering turnkey service, since it can be particularly difficult to perform. IBW solutions aren't static, because demand isn't static, particularly in enterprise environments. Tenants move in, move out, expand, change operator contracts and so forth. Areas of greatest demand will require rebalancing of power levels, and changes to the outdoor macro environment will change how interference affects your capacity and quality of service. As a result, IBW solutions require monitoring and upkeep. Bring in the experts. Don't expect that your own IT staff has the expertise to manage your IBW solution. You will likely need help from a third party, preferably an end-to-end turnkey partner capable of providing fast, professional post-deployment support. don't go too far afield. Since many IBW troubleshooting calls involve physically adjusting antennas or moving access points, it's critical to work with a partner within a reasonable service radius. Consider budget-conscious ways to scope partner contracts. Not every IBW failure is a disaster, and not every problem requires instant attention. IBW management is usually available at various levels and degrees. Depending on how your enterprise space uses its IBW, such as the availability of a secondary layer like Wi-Fi, you may be satisfied with lower cost plans that don't guarantee same-day response. Another way to get the most from your maintenance dollar is by choosing an IBW solution with an integrated management software solution such as CommScope's AMOS. Such solutions can automatically detect problems, identify service disruption locations, and generate automatic alerts and troubleshooting work orders to send directly to your maintenance partner. Providing them with prompt, precise, reliable information about the problem can help expedite resolutions and reduce wasted time and resources. IBW solutions have come a long way from the early days of the first DAS. Modern solutions like DAS and small cells are now more affordable, versatile, capable, and easier to install than ever before. With the right partner, any enterprise can deploy an effective IBW solution. IBW solutions aren't out-of-the-box solutions like Wi-Fi, so it's critical to understand and budget properly. Ongoing maintenance will require your attention as well, and this leads us to our final subject, funding your IBW deployment, covered in the next lesson.